Good morning, I guess. I'm in a rough mood today. No, I am. It's a super foggy morning, which would be perfectly fine if it was a day that I had the leisure of staying home and crocheting. But it's cold and it's dreary and everything is all wrapped in a thick blanket of fog. But that's not enough to put me in a bad mood. No, it's not enough. I need more of a reason than that. And the reason is I started a new scarf project and it's not done. But the weather's telling me I need a scarf and I don't have one. So that little saying about knit faster, winter's coming. Crocheting a little heart out over here. And last night, I knew it was gonna be cold, but I didn't know it was gonna be this chilly. Sadie's got a toy. I told myself, oh, okay, I'm gonna stay up just a little bit later and do a few more rows. All right. The row I'm currently working on is a little fan. I'll tell you more about the pattern in just a little bit. I was working on a fan and you fan, you skip, single crochet, skip, and then fan. Well, I was only skipping one between the fan and the single crochet. This morning I'm looking at it and I'm like, how did I accumulate so many fans in such a small space? I was squeezing them in there. So I started my morning with fog and no scarf. I'm ripping out fans, trying to be in a grumpy little mood, and my Starbucks girl came home. She worked very, very early and brought me home a brand new Starbucks beverage. My usual is just a hot coffee with a splash of heavy whipping cream. I got a story behind that. So when it comes to processed milks, the more the milk is processed, the higher amount of carbohydrates in it. For a diabetic, carbohydrates turns into sugar real quick in my body. So in all of my research, despite all of the nutrition classes my health insurance has sent me to, I have discovered that in looking in the back of all the milk cartons, fat-free milk, which typically people drink to help lose weight, which weight is definitely an issue for a lot of us. Heavy whipping cream has higher calories, less sugar. I'm not afraid of calories. It's the sugar that's turning in blah, blah, blah. So she told me that when you go to Starbucks and you order a splash of heavy whipping cream, it's cream that they're using to make their whipped cream topping on all their little Frappuccino sugar bombs. Did not realize that at all. I thought it was heavy whipping cream that you buy at the store. So from now on, when I go to Starbucks, when I order my sugar-free delights, I need to say whole milk, a splash of whole milk. And then because she works there, we've experimented a little bit with their sugar-free options. And really, Starbucks only has the sugar-free vanilla. Oh, it tastes terrible. I don't want it. Just give me a regular coffee. I'm not into all the sugary, sweet desserts. I just want coffee, right? Sadie, no, that's my shoe. No. I didn't throw the ball, so she's trying to get my shoe. So, ta-da! Starbucks has a sugar-free caramel. She brought me home a big cup of it. I poured it in my mug, got it all nice and hot in the microwave. It's actually really good. Now, if you know that it's not actually sugar-free or some sort of double-edged sword on this pulling me on my funk hack, I don't want to hear it. Not today. Not today. I cannot sit here today I need to go to work. So we will be in the car today. There is quite a bit of waiting time scheduled, and that is the whole reason why I grabbed a new something to work on. I will tell you all about this while I'm waiting in the car, and we can visit them. Everything else I have caught up, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh, you know, this is my only current thing that I'm working on. Look right over there to your left, sitting right next to you. So stinking socktaculars haunting me, giving me the evil eye because I haven't worked on it at all. Good, I'm back in my funk. All right, let's go. Let's start the day. We'll take our hot coffee with us. It's actually delicious, sugar-free caramel. We're gonna take the scarf that I've ripped out the previous mishaps. You know what? I guess life isn't that bad. I'll be okay. Come hang out with me today. Let's see what we can get into. All right. It's a beautiful day to spend outside, getting some vitamins. Let's see. So I am sitting in the car. I'll probably be here for a little while. So I brought Crochet. Isn't that beautiful? So this is me jumping on board with the Sis Love shawls. They are beautiful. Ellen over at Ellen's Crochet showed that she did a triangular shawl. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's a stitch sampler that's just so beautiful. We've got some window rows, some little alternating baubles. There's more windows. There's a fan, and then we spread out to a big fan. I believe Erin over at Crafting Kitty called this row spiderweb row. I love that. Windows. So it is row 1 through 30, and then you start repeating row 8 through 30, 31, 30. I will link it's a Ralvery pattern, and I will link it in the description box below. So I did 1 through 30, and then I did 8, 9, 10. So 30, 31, 32, 33. I can math. I'm on row 33, and there are different versions of the Sis Love shawl. I want to do a rectangle, a long rectangle, because if I do a triangular shawl, that limits, or I need to have a certain amount of yardage to work it. If I do a rectangle and use it like a long wrap scarf, just a big bulky, let's just wrap it around as many times as possible, I can use a lot of same weight yardage. So I have 2 of these cakes. Isn't that beautiful in the sunshine? It's a mossy green, let's see, a mossy green, one of those goose turd greens, and like an evergreen tree, kind of very tonal, very tonal. I have no idea what this cake is. I've got 2 of these that I picked up at a thrift store while visiting a friend that lived in Upper Sacramento. That was a very, very fun adventure thrift haul a few years ago. And I have 2 of these, and then I have another fingering weight, sock weight yarn that it's got a lot of colors in it, but it complements this one very well. So when I first started my Sis Love rectangle, I was gonna use my Stenley muffin that Jackie over at Tiny Little Blessings gave me when I went to go visit her in Southern California. It starts out as a white with a string of glimmer in it, and then it slowly transitions. It's one of those with a lot of threads held together, and then the colors slowly transition into the deepest, most beautiful blue, going through all the turquoises, just super elegant. And I wanted to start with that. But here's a picture of the yarn. I took a picture. My hook, the yarn, it all looks beautiful together, and I could envision the whole project. I started, and by the time I got to, I think maybe the 3rd or 4th row, I noticed that the yarn has such a long transitional gradient in it that it was chopping it up into these not flattering blocks of color, and that yarn is too special to me. That fiber is very special to me. So if I still want to do the Sis Love Shawl, that has enough yardage to be a whole triangular shawl all by itself, and it would be beautiful with this stitch work. Actually, you could probably see it better with the sun shining through it. Yeah, that cake would be gorgeous in this pattern, but the rectangular one was not doing it justice. It was losing so much depth and color. I couldn't do that to it. So I set that aside, and I went digging through the yarn cellar, and I found this mystery fiber. Just the other day, I was watching a video on YouTube, and I'll have to do more research, but I think this would be the ideal fiber to do it with. There was a young woman with an episode on her channel. She calls hers podcasts. She has a podcast where she runs experiments on the thrifted fiber to determine what the contents are. In general, what the contents are. And man, this would be the perfect fiber to do it with. I have no ball band, no idea. It's just is what it is, which actually turned out to be very frustrating. I center pulled from the cake. I put it in my little watermelon bag that I got from Lambtown Festival. It fits perfect. The bottom is a circle, and it fits that little cake perfectly, and it's kind of holding it all together as I work and pull from it. The first, I don't know, 2 rows, all of a sudden had a break in the yarn. It looked like it wasn't even cut all the way. It was just like splitted. And then, so I was like, okay, well, that's not a big deal. I don't want to lose all that yardage. So I did a Russian join, tied it together, kept moving. I crocheted over my ends, and then like half a row later, it had more. And then another row later, it had more. And so I tried to sew over my ends, but I have a couple down here that aren't sewn in because the next row was very lacy. So I will have to sit, instead of working over my ends, I'm gonna have to sew those in nice and tight. But that was very frustrating. It happened quite a few times. I hope the other cake isn't like that. That is definitely something to take in consideration while buying thrifted fibers. That's okay, that's okay. So today, for Inspiration Monday, I'd love to inspire you to try the Sis Love Shawl. It is easy to work. Once you get the pattern for the first section of it, it's repeated for the length of your item that you're deciding to make. It's a graph. It's a very simple graph. There are chains, double crochets, and a puff. I think everything else is pretty much just a combination thereof. Try it. Try it. Get yourself a scrap piece of yarn and start on it and see if you can read a diagram. It would be a great little to expand. You could do it in any weight yarn. You wouldn't have to do it in something so small. So I am working on this tonight. This was all done yesterday, Sunday. I'm gonna work on this the rest of today and tonight. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, a day off. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, friends. Bye.